Sir, Starbucks Coffee Company unequivocally, and let me set the tone for this very early on, has not broken the law.
Starbucks is one of the most recognized and successful brands in the world, with a market value of over $100 billion. Looking at the success of Starbucks today, you would never guess that the company was founded by a poor boy who grew up in a housing complex for low-income families. Howard Schultz's story is a testament to the power of hard work, determination, but also the vision to overcome difficult circumstances and achieve great success. But Howard Schultz, now being accused, is the main topic of discussion in the labor hearing. This is the insane story of Starbucks and how a poor boy with big dreams created one of the most recognized brands in the world with now facing labor accusations. The beginning. Howard Schultz was born in Brooklyn Heights, New York in 1953 and grew up in a housing complex for low-income families. Schultz's father worked as a truck driver who slipped and broke his leg and hip and was dismissed without the safety net of workers' compensation or health insurance. His mother was a homemaker. He said, "At the age of 7, I witnessed firsthand the hopelessness of fractured dreams. It scarred me." Later on in his career, he stated, "I have tried to build the company that my father never got to work for." Schultz was the first member of his family to graduate from college, earning a degree in communications from Northern Michigan University in 1975. After college, Schultz worked for a variety of companies, including Xerox and Haarplast, a Swedish maker of household goods. In 1981, he was working for a company called Starbucks, which at the time was a small chain of coffee shops based in Seattle, Washington. Schultz was struck by the popularity of coffee shops in Italy, and he believed that the same kind of coffee culture could be successful in the United States. He convinced the owners of Starbucks to test the idea by opening a coffee bar in one of their stores, but they were not interested in pursuing the concept further. Howard Schultz faced several struggles while starting Starbucks, including financial difficulties, resistance from the company's original owners, and the challenge of creating a new type of coffee experience in the United States. One of the biggest struggles Schultz faced was securing funding to start his own coffee business. He had a vision for creating a coffee culture in the United States that focused on community and quality, but he needed investors to make it a reality. Many people he approached for funding were skeptical of his idea and turned him down. Determined to pursue his vision, Schultz left Starbucks and eventually raised the money he needed to start his own coffee company, Il Giornale, in which he focused on bringing Italian-style coffee to the United States. But soon he faced another challenge when he decided to merge it with Starbucks. The original owners of Starbucks were not interested in Schultz's vision for creating an Italian-style coffee experience in the United States, and they initially rejected his proposal to merge the two companies. Schultz persisted, however, and eventually convinced the owners to sell them Starbucks for $3.8 million. But soon the biggest obstacle Schultz faced was convincing Americans to pay more for coffee. At the time, coffee was seen as a commodity and was typically sold in diners and fast food restaurants for just a few cents a cup. Schultz believed that people would be willing to pay more for a high-quality coffee experience, but he had to work hard to convince them of this. He faced further challenges as he worked to turn the struggling coffee chain around and make his vision a reality. But under Schultz's leadership, Starbucks grew rapidly, expanding from a handful of stores in Seattle to a global chain with more than 30,000 locations in over 80 countries. However, after years of success, the financial crisis of 2008 also took a hit on Starbucks. How Starbucks made people buy coffee in recession. In 2008, Starbucks faced a significant financial downturn, largely due to the global economic recession that had affected many businesses around the world. During this time, the company experienced a decline in sales, and its stock price plummeted. Howard Schultz, who had stepped down as CEO of Starbucks in 2000, was concerned about the direction of the company and the impact of the recession on its future. In an effort to save the business he had built, Schultz decided to return to Starbucks as CEO in 2008. He promised to make things right when he got back. He stood before the entire company and apologized, he said. He cried and fell apart. Retail shop sales had fallen for the first time by 8.6%, and if they continued to fall, Starbucks would be insolvent. Schultz's strategy for reviving Starbucks was centered around a concept he called the moment of truth. He believed that the key to turning the company around was to focus on every interaction between Starbucks employees and customers. This meant paying attention to every detail, from the quality of the coffee to the friendliness of the baristas. Schultz delivered a powerful speech to Starbucks employees in February 2008, outlining his vision for the company and challenging them to embrace the moment of truth. "We made the mistake in 2007 and 2008 of talking about millions of customers and thousands of stores," he said. "That's ridiculous. The moment of truth for Starbucks and for all of you is one customer, one Starbucks partner wearing that green apron, and that one experience based on the best tasting coffee on the planet. We have to live up to that and overachieve so they not only come back, but tell a friend." He called on them to take ownership of their work and to see themselves as partners in the company's success. The speech was a pivotal moment in the company's history, and it helped to galvanize employees around Schultz's vision for Starbucks. He implemented a series of changes to improve the customer experience, including closing underperforming stores, retraining employees, and refocusing on the quality of the coffee. These efforts paid off, and Starbucks began to see an improvement in sales and customer satisfaction. Schultz's focus on the moment of truth helped to re-energize the company and bring it back to its core values and mission. The company's stock price also began to rise, and Schultz was credited with saving Starbucks from a potentially catastrophic financial situation. Schultz's leadership during this difficult time is seen as a testament to his business acumen and his commitment to the company he founded. So why is Howard Schultz no longer at the company, now being accused? According to the National Labor Relations Board, at least 293 of Starbucks' 9,000 company-owned Starbucks locations have chosen to unionize since late 2021. The labor organization Starbucks Workers United, which aims to unionize outlets, has not yet signed a contract with any Starbucks locations. At a 2-hour, frequently heated hearing before the Senate Health, Education, Labor and Pensions Committee, longtime Starbucks CEO Howard Schultz said his company hasn't infringed any labor laws and is eager to negotiate with unionized workers.
Sir, Starbucks Coffee Company unequivocally, and let me set the tone for this very early on, has not broken the law.
The corporation is allegedly stalling, according to U.S. Senator Bernie Sanders, an independent who has been a strong supporter of Starbucks labor organizers. He claimed that hundreds of labor law infractions by Starbucks, such as firing labor organizers and closing unionized stores without authorization, have been determined by federal courts and administrative judges at the NLRB. The unionization effort has generated controversy. A federal labor judge concluded earlier this month that the business broke labor regulations hundreds of times during a unionization campaign in Buffalo, New York. Additionally, federal justices ordered Starbucks to restore the labor organizers that the company had fired. The fundamental issue we are confronting today is whether we have a system of justice that applies to all, or whether billionaires and large corporations can break the law with impunity, Sanders said. Schultz responded, "We've done everything that we possibly can to respect the right under the law of our partners' ability to join a union. But conversely, we have consistently laid out our preference, without breaking any law, of communicating to our people what we believe is our vision for the company." He was also firm in his stance that the Seattle coffee giant already offers good wages and benefits and does not require a union. In response to criticism of his current fortune and how much more he makes than a barista, Schultz said, "I came from nothing. No one gave me anything. I earned it." Today, Starbucks is once again a beloved and iconic brand with a loyal customer base and a commitment to its core values and mission. Schultz's leadership and vision. His commitment to the company and his willingness to make difficult decisions in difficult times helped to save Starbucks and restore it to its position as a leader in the coffee industry. What do you think of Schultz's accusations? And what is your opinion of Starbucks? Do you think it is overhyped? Comment below. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe and stay updated for more well-known brand stories.